Yeah.
So speed it up just a little bit.
Check it.
Okay.
Taking my time to drop this rhyme. Cause in these streets you can't pretend like you're blind. Cause if all you see is disaster, if you have a heart and a brain, then you know what you should be after. Hi, this is Pastor Ings. We had a great time tonight for Tattoo. Many of you know Tattoo stands for Tough Answers, Tough Topics, Often Overlooked. We were at DiSilvestro tonight, which is 1701 South 15th Street. We had a real great time tonight. Had a good turnout. Most of you were there, and I'm glad you were. We are preparing for a Tattoo Masterclass. Imagine that. And in that masterclass, I'm going to drill into talking about wealth and riches. Well, how to build wealth, or the difference, number one, between riches and wealth. All right, we're going to cover that. But before we went into that, we're still talking about shapes, which is how we create our community, how we create our environment, and the three things that we use in those shapes to build our society. One is our language, our education, and our courage to pull things off. And along with that, we talked about pathways. If you remember, once I determine certain patterns that you have in your life and your language, I can tell what path you're on. Irregardless of what your destination, your desired destination may be, I can tell what path you're on based upon the way you talk about yourself or talk about certain things and some of the pattern of behavior in your life. And so a lot of times our youth have desired results for our destination, but you're on the wrong path. You know, if you are involved in crime, you're being dishonest, you know, a lot of these things come back on you and they cause impediments along the way. You know, you may want to be a senator or someone of influence, right? And you want people to respect you and listen to you, and you want to give back to the community, or maybe you don't want to do any of those things, but maybe you just want to be successful, and maybe you want to move and have all the things that you just desire to have in your life, from being married, having children, having a house, the dog, the cat, you know, and just a nice life where you're not looking over your shoulder. Listen, that's a path. There's a path to get you there. Some people desire that. Some people desire, I mean, that's at a minimum, people desire peace, right? You know, to be able to have a home where you can sit on your deck or sit on your porch and drink some lemonade and kick your feet back without worrying about someone, you know, coming after you or what have you because of some of the crimes that you've committed. See what I'm saying? I use that as an example to say we have a desired destination, and often we don't make it because we haven't been able to determine what path we're on, which will get us there. Your language, the way you talk about yourself, you know, the things that you say, your understanding of society and the things that are going on around you, your education, whether you completed grade school or not, it's all going to have an effect on how you process your world around you. I talked about making your past intelligible to you. In other words, you may not understand, you may not agree with what happened in the past, but if you can understand why things happen, it puts you that shines light on the realities in your life. And we use that to talk about pathways, right? Pathways are very, very, very important. Not only is it concerning the trajectory of your life and where you're going so that you reach your desired destination, it also would help shed light on your past and where you've come from. You know, sometimes people, one person said, if you want to know where you're going, you got to know where you come from. You know, you got to connect the dots. And so that takes education, it takes being inspiration, right? And it takes courage, it takes all those things. And what we're calling those things are shapes. You know, I asked the young people tonight, I said, if you were to use a shape to describe this recreation center, what shape would you use? One person said a triangle, another person said a rectangle. All right. I said, but isn't it interesting if you put the two together? You know, one is just not one shape of itself. You put it together, you have more of a unique design. And that's the way our society looks. That's the way your world looks, you know? And so we want to choose wisely. We want to use that concept to build our world, to build the things that we want to see for ourselves in life. That's very, very important. all right? And your pathway is going to get you there. Now, the Tattoo Masterclass, that's coming up on November the 11th. I believe the Sixers will be playing Toronto. I mention that because the Tattoo Masterclass is going to be held at the Wells Fargo Center. I'm so excited about that. All the youth that have been following Momentum and their parents and what have you, we're going to be there. And it's a series of, we have a whole itinerary the way it's going to go. I'll give you some more information about that. But we're going to have a great time. And at that time, we're giving out Scholastic Awards. And we talk about that. You'll see the communication, those who are connected to Momentum and connected to the ministry. You're going to hear more and more about our Tattoo Masterclass. It is in that class I'm going to zoom in and begin to talk about the difference between riches and wealth and how it is that we build wealth, even at a young age. As young as you are, if you're 13, 14, or even younger than that, this is a great time for you to learn the importance of what some would call the American dream, but it's bigger than the American dream. You know, it's wealth building that passes from generation to generation. We're going to talk more about that. We have a guest speaker that's coming. His name is Dr. David Walker, and he has spent his whole career in education and in sports. You know, as a coach, he worked with youth most of his career. He was also a pastor and a spiritual advisor, and he's still a reverend. And so he's going to be speaking to our youth, you know, along with some other speakers, you know, in between the time when we get there to the Wells Fargo Center. Our master class is really going to be nice. Our master class is sponsored by B2E B2G. Some of you may know about B2E B2G. Every year we've had our back to school concert. And for the past 2 years, we haven't been able to do it because of COVID restrictions and such like. But we're still raising monies and accepting donations towards the B2E B2G Scholarship Foundation, because these monies are being used to fund and to distribute scholastic awards to what I call our young scholars. All right, so you're going to hear more and more about that. But listen, stay connected to Tattoo. Remember, if you haven't done it already, like our YouTube channel, give me some thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. It all helps the ministry. You know, the more subscribers we have, the more likes we have, it helps this channel. And I want you to do that. All right, so stay connected. Tattoo for life.